Hey, what's going on, Darth Empire? It's Lefty coming at you here with another episode of Different Side of Darth, and I have my buddy Demon sitting next to me. Demon, say hello to the people.
What's going on, guys? And thanks for having me again with you there, Lefty. I'm really enjoying this.
No problem, man. And you know what? I think it's safe to say that you are someone that I believe. You know, I hate to sound this conceited about it, but I think you are someone that deserves the exposure. Again, I don't think of myself as someone that should be controlling the floodgates of who gets exposure and who doesn't. But if I had to choose, in this case, and since I do have to choose, I think you are somebody that deserves the exposure. But now, here we go. I said this is another episode of Different Side of Darth, but this is my gameplay. And I know what you're thinking. I say, well, Lefty, we've seen a ton of your gameplay, and we've trolled it a ton. And, you know, what are you doing showing us your gameplay? Well, this is a different side of Darth in that I'm using a regular gun and not a sniper rifle. This is Domination on Summit. Again, taking a break from sniping, and I've always found, Demon, do you agree with this, that it's a good idea to take a break from sniping now and again?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because with Black Ops especially, when you're sniping, you hit those rough patches and you just start getting down and frustrated. And, I'll even do it myself. Because I'm not a super great sniper to begin with. I'd say I'm above average with it. But you get to those games where you're just kind of getting beat down. And you feel like you suck at the game, and it's just nice to go back and remind yourself, you're not that bad.
Exactly. And this was the first dual comm we did. That was posting. That was my first game back. I believe this is somewhere along the series, and I'm not sure. I haven't checked because we had just recorded or previously recorded another one. I think this is the Domination game where you join session at the end when we have sufficiently spawn trapped you.
Oh dear Lord!
I think it is. I'm not sure. I have two Summit Domination gameplays on here, but I think this is the one.
I don't know. I rage quit like 15 seconds into it, I think, once I realized I'm not getting 5 feet from my spawn.
Yes. It was fun for me, if that counts.
Oh, I'm sure it was, you asshole.
Well,
me spawn trapped.
All right, but anyway, we want to continue our talk about a Call of Duty MMO. We realized that the gameplay last time wasn't very long. It didn't give us a lot of time to talk about what we wanted to talk about. So, Demon, let's continue on from where we left off. Character customization, and what I'm talking about here is cosmetic customization, not necessarily. You get to customize everything, like how fast your guy's arm moves, or how fast you reload with a certain gun, or something like that. But what I'm talking about is a cosmetic customization, because one thing that I thought was kind of hard was in Fallout, the idea of your armor choices and everything it was all cosmetic, right? You could all see it, but you had to go into third-person view, and it was primarily a first-person game. But I'm thinking, would that be a good idea, do you think, for a Call of Duty MMO to allow the players, let's say at a certain level, hey, you get to place this ammo pack here, or you get to wear sunglasses or goggles or a baklava, or what's that called, the ninja mask that guys wear?
Oh, man, I don't even remember.
Baklava? I think it's baklava.
I think something like that.
Right. But would you enjoy that? Is that something you would enjoy, or do you think that's maybe going a little bit too over the top?
No, I think like I said, to a certain extent, the personal customization is definitely going to play a factor, and I think that something that they should do with it, as far as that goes, they need to make it something earned, something you can do later as you progress in the game, like you stated, because there's a lot of different games where you get this complete and total character customization at the beginning. Right when you join, right when you make your character, and people just want to play, so kind of add tidbits as you go, so that people, who want to can hop straight into the game, and as they get time, or as they want to experience different things in the game, they can start adding to it and progressing to it. I think that'd be a good way to keep the game fresh.
Now, one thing I was wondering, or I was thinking about this. I was like, well, you're clamoring for full customization and full cosmetic customization. What would be the benefit of that if the game isn't in third person? And I am not going to advent the inclusion of a third person camera. I think that would just completely change the feel of the Call of Duty series, at least when it comes to in-game stuff. Like when in between battles, again, I don't know how that whole mechanism would work between battles and not battles. But I would think perhaps in that kind of middle ground, you could put a third-person camera to see the cosmetic changes of your guy. But I would think it would be necessary to include some kind of a theater mode for the actual battles, for the actual engagements, so people can revel in their cosmetic in their cosmetic choices, because obviously, in a first-person shooter, you don't get to see yourself, right? I mean, that's just the way things are. Do you think people would make use of that?
And past MMOs in general, the thing is, most of them are first-person. And a lot of times the equipment or customizations that you get as far as what you look like somehow benefit your attributes or your strength in a certain area. And they could play into that, like we kind of touched on before, about how customization, you can, instead of having perks, maybe as you gain experience, you can choose how you want to progress in a certain area. And maybe your equipment could, I don't know, that's kind of iffy if they go to that. Maybe your equipment could start benefiting. I don't know. That's kind of how they do it in past MMOs. I don't really see that in Call of Duty. But the main thing people do about it is, with past MMOs, is that when you get equipment, it's more of a, it's kind of like the gold camo, right? It's more like a show-off type thing. And you can go back and look at your character and see what they look like and kind of marvel on what you've accomplished and the type of stuff that you have, because it's more of a prestigious, it's more of a prestigious feeling as opposed to improving the gameplay. Now,
you said prestigious, and that that sparked in my head prestige, and it sparked something that I definitely wanted to talk about. I don't know if we're going to have the time to cover it all in this episode, so, oh, darn it, looks like we might have to do another one some other time. But I was thinking about this earlier, and this is something I wanted to ask even regular Call of Duty developers, is how do they plan on balancing ranked unlocks with matchmaking? Because obviously, when you're in the idea of a level up system, as you level up, the things you unlock become more beneficial, right? The thing you unlock at level 45 is more beneficial than the thing you unlocked at level 2.
Yes. I actually thought about this.
You've thought about it. Okay, so what have you thought? What have you thought? Let us know.
What I thought about this was home field advantage, kind of. We were discussing how it could possibly be a World War III type scenario, and you have these battles and stuff in different countries. And the lower level you are, you're not going to strike out and go into necessarily someone else's territory very often, right? And maybe if you're lower, you have kind of the system has kind of a home field advantage to where you have an increase by being there, but whether it be cover or a position that you guys are holding down, something in that nature that will kind of help balance that out. But yet the stronger players, the higher level players, they're the ones actually rushing in, trying to take over a new territory, something of that nature, to where it gives a good balance to the new players and to those who have been around a while.
Because one of the things, again, I talk about APB a lot, and this is just something because I was up on it. I mean, when I first heard about APB, I was like, ooh, that seems kind of interesting. And then it fell flat on its face because it was bad, it was horrible, everybody hated it. But one of the things that they talked about was that in terms of matchmaking, when you have a game of this level, I mean, obviously, let's say you go into a PvP section of WoW or Diablo 2, I used to play Diablo 2, you understand that you're going to run into higher levels, and you're willing to take that risk because the game is more strategic in nature. It's not necessarily skill. Yes, strategy is skill to a certain extent, but it isn't. You understand that the equipment, the mechanisms in the game are the things that are actually doing work. It's not in the sense of an FPS or a competitive FPS where player skill determines who wins, where player skill overrides the mechanisms of the game to determine who wins any given engagement. And what I was thinking with that is, it's like, well, when you go into a PvP thing in WoW, you understand you're going to run into a higher level, that you're going to understand that you are going to find somebody with better items than you, with better weapons. How does that work with Call of Duty? Because APB, one of the biggest complaints was, as soon as you got to the higher levels and you unlocked the better weapons, there wasn't a matchmaking thing that separated the levels, so the higher levels would continue dominating the lower level players with better weapons. How do you get past that?
Well, like I said, I think that there's going to have to be some kind of boost or challenge for the higher levels against the lower levels, giving the lower levels some kind of advantage. I think is the only way that's going to be able to balance it out, because when you're talking, a MMO, you're going to have improved equipment. You have to have something for the people to work at. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing that Call of Duty is now. So they're going to have to find some kind of mechanism, some kind of balance to even out the fact that you are going to have higher levels with more equipment. And like you said, in World of Warcraft, if I can get my words together here, it's the same thing. You know, you expect it, and if you're going into an MMO, you're going to have to expect those situations. There is going to be a little bit of imbalance for those who have been there longer, but hopefully they can introduce a mechanism, maybe like home field advantage or cover, or you know, you're holding down an area in that matchmaking, as opposed to just saying deal with it.
Right. All right, well, the gameplay's wrapping up. Like I said, I didn't think we would get to all of it. We're going to have to do it again some other time. Thank you for joining. Demon's link is going to be in the description to his channel. He's got a lot of great stuff. I enjoy it, and I think you guys will as well. Also, be sure to go to my channel where you can find the rest of the videos in this series. Demon and I, our first dual comm, and then my first video on the series. And hey, while you're there, why not hit the subscribe button? The link will be in the description. Also, go to twitter.com/lefty643. That's where you can follow me on Twitter. That's where you can interact with me, find out about open lobbies, live streams, all that great stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Just go to twitter.com/lefty643. Thank you for joining. Demon and I are out. Peace.